The invocation. The invocation. It is important to remember that you, as a Reiki practitioner, are not healing your client. The people receiving Reiki are, in fact, healing themselves. You are merely the channel that enables them to draw the Reiki energy through your hands to the place it is needed. And I also want to add, in all of these, we're going to talk about hands. But Reiki comes through your whole body. It goes through your feet and your body. So if you have a pet that's really sick or a child that's really sick, you can just wrap your whole self around them and give them a Reiki treatment that way. Obviously, you can't do that to a client on the table, but if it's a family member, a pet, or someone else that you're close to that you can give a big hug to, you can also give Reiki that way as well. The invocation is a token that symbolizes you are giving up any claims of power. You are simply the conduit in which the infinite power of the universal life force flows. That being said, you may see, hear, or feel things that will aid in the healing process. The hardest part about working with Reiki for me was believing in myself, believing in what I was shown, and trying not to interpret what I was shown, and just letting the client know everything and interpret the meanings on their own. Although this invocation is not necessary to turn on the Reiki energy, I feel it enables the therapist to disassociate themselves from their ego and pay respect to the universal life force and the person they are about to work on. Your prayers should be personal and in line with your own beliefs. Ask for permission to be used as a channel for Reiki healing. We have listed in the next slide an invocation that I used to use when I first started. You may develop a prayer that is suitable for use on your own. So when I first started learning Reiki, the very first Reiki one I took, there was a great big invocation we were supposed to say that everybody was taught to do. By the time I went back for Reiki 2, they changed it to just connecting to Reiki for the highest good. The reason they changed it was because not everyone has the same belief system, and you may be working on someone whose beliefs do not align with yours. I also feel that having something, even if you just put your hands in gasho and say, I'm now connected to Reiki for the highest good, part of a ritual. It's almost like a grounding. And we'll go over, the whole beginning part of it, but when we get to the next part with the hand position. But it is something that is just part of a ritual, and rituals are important to bring you into focus, to push everything out of your mind because you're here to do this job right now. The example of Reiki that I used to use was I call upon Reiki, the universal life force, all the angelic beings, my guides, and all the Reiki masters, past, present, and future, to draw near and take part in this healing session. I ask that the power and wisdom of Reiki permits me to become a channel for Reiki's unconditional love and healing on behalf of, you can insert your client's name. May Reiki's infinite wisdom go exactly where it is needed most, should it be for their higher good. May we all be empowered by our divine love and blessings. Amen. So I learned this whole thing and then I shortened it before I went back for Reiki 2. I said to my team, all the part at the top about guides and everything. I said, look, I'm just going to say my team. You'll be my team. We used to say I call upon my team and I call upon my client's team because they have their own guides and you have your guides. And when you connect to Reiki, you're connecting to both your own and theirs in a way to get the information that is needed to help them heal themselves. So you may hear a song, you may see pictures of something flash before your eyes. I did a distance Reiki healing on my son who lives in Sweden. He was having really bad gallbladder. He was supposed to go to the doctors the next day to see if he needed to get surgery. So that it's a 6-hour time difference. So that night before I went to sleep, I did a Reiki session on him, and I felt like I was having a stroke, or what I figure a stroke would feel like. I had pain that went all the way up my sternum. It was so horrible. So I messaged him. I'm like, I gave you a session. I said, oh my God, the pain. I felt like I was having a stroke. I told him where the pain was at. Then I went to bed. When I woke up, he messaged me back and said he had had a stone pass, probably when I was giving him the session. And he said it was extremely painful, and I described exactly how it felt. So even though I've been doing this for a while, I still get amazed when stuff like that happens. And I did another session for him when I got up, and he didn't need any surgery. And so far, touch wood, not bragging, he has not needed any surgery in his gallbladder since. So, like I say, I no longer say this whole thing. I just now say I connect to Reiki for my or my client's highest good. It is quick. It's easy to say. I don't have to remember everything. It's like, oh my God, did I forget anybody? I let my guides know when I say this that I'm asking them to help me out with the person I'm working with and with their guides as well. You can come up with whatever you want. Said it before, I said again, there's no Reiki police that says you have to say anything. You can just put your hands in Gasso and roll. Say it in your head. You don't have to say it out loud. Um, Whatever works for you in your practice as you move forward in it. But I do like to cover everything, even though you don't have to do it, so you're exposed to it. You may find someone who's more strict and says, "Oh, you have to do everything by the book." Talk to other Reiki practitioners, but with no Reiki, please. You can make it your own.